Hey guys, welcome back. This is Rob Edwards at the Prime Dude Podcast. It's been a couple weeks. It's summer. I've been traveling, you know how it is. But today is going to be a good one. I've been building up for this show for a few weeks because I discovered something about leather quality that I didn't expect in one of the world's most renowned shoemakers. That's right. I was doing a show and I'm going to talk a little bit about the brand now, but I'm actually not going to showcase too much of the shoe because I've already returned it. But I've already filmed the show. Then it's going to be about Joseph Cheaney and Sons. Now, don't get me wrong, this shoe was well made. I really liked it. But unfortunately, I made some discoveries that I'm going to talk about in a specific show about the corrected grain leather that I found this shoe was made of. Now, although I've returned that shoe, I've got one here that is corrected grain. We're going to talk a little bit about what that means. And of course, I've got some new shoes to talk about, get into details from Blackbird Shoemaker, a really cool find, and a separate show I'm going to do on an Allen Edmonds new old stock, or as they say, NOS, which was cool, a shoe made in 2016. And also another neat find, another eBay find we'll talk about. Like my last one, it is Peal and Company, the famous label that Brooks Brothers used to sell a number of their shoes in the United States. Before we start, please hit that like button, subscribe, tune in again, guys. These shows go where no others go because I actually walk the walk and I actually wear the stuff. And you know, I do the more formal, in detailed reviews and shows on how to dress business casual and those things. But this podcast is for those of you loyal subscribers, for me to get in behind the scenes a bit and to show you kind of how the sausage is made and what I'm looking for. And of course, to give you previews and insights on what I'm going to talk about in my regular programs. So let's start with corrected grain leather. What is it? It's essentially, without going too deep into it, it's poor quality leather that's dressed up, essentially lipstick on a pig, as they say, or maybe lipstick on the cow. And so this shoe is a To Boot New York shoe. This shoe is from a brand that I used to really like. I don't dislike them, but as I learned about the quality shoes that are out there years ago, in addition and better than what you find in retail from To Boot New York, I've expanded away from this brand. But I've had this trusty cap toe for a while. I got it at Nordstrom Rack, which is essentially a reseller, kind of a way for brands that are left over at Nordstrom, pretty high-end retailer here in the United States. The Rack, the Nordstrom Rack, is where you can find deals. And I bought this shoe knowing it was a To Boot New York label, but made for the lower cost Nordstrom Rack model, meaning this was never a shoe that was sold in the Nordstrom men's shop. And so when I got this shoe, it wasn't surprising that the leather had that corrected grain feel, meaning lower quality leather that To Boot New York sourced probably from the same tanneries they use in Italy, but at a lesser rate so they can sell the shoe at a lower cost. And what do I mean by corrected grain? When you go over the surface, this shoe, this cap toe, is never going to achieve the same mirror shine as a better quality leather shoe, a leather shoe from Annane or these other famous Italian tanneries. That's not where this leather came from. Or if it did, it came from their bottom basement quality leather. And that's okay if you know what you're paying for. I got this pair of shoes for $150. It's a rubber sole, which is what I wanted. It's Blake Stitch, which is strong enough, right? It's not Goodyear welted. $150 is going to be tough. You can get them in some of these Indian shoemakers, but it's very rare to get a Goodyear welted shoe, and I didn't need it for that price range. And I knew the leather was something I wouldn't mind getting wet and beating up a little bit because I travel, and when there's forecast for rain, this is a shoe, a very versatile black Oxford cap toe that I can depend on, that's going to go with just about anything, and I'm not going to be uncomfortable when it hits the water, gets some snow on it, and I know it's going to have some good slip resistance with a good rubber sole. But I'll put some clips up of the show that's coming, and it's from the shoe table where I do all my work analyzing up close quality of shoes, and you can just tell when you look at corrected grain and the brand in question that I'll be talking about in a show. Hint for you guys, because you're my podcast watchers, it's Joseph Cheaney and Sons. I got the shoes on sale, but they were shoes they were selling for $500. Why did the leather from that shoe from Cheaney and Sons feel, look, and perform just like this corrected grain? Is it because it's corrected grain? We'll see. My full show's coming, but I can tell you it was very disappointing, and everything else about the shoe was great. So I used this shoe as a comparison, and they were way too similar in a black cap toe Oxford dress shoe. So there's a tip there, guys. Just make sure when you look at these shoes, even the top labels, Allen Edmonds, I think their leather quality has been pretty consistent, but I'm just careful of any of these discount brands you get or discount names. Like there's one, Allen Edmonds sells a few to Nordstrom Rack too. You're not going to find them on their website. They're using lower quality leather. You just got to know what you're paying for. But this is the problem I want to help solve, and I'm trying to hold these companies accountable. I haven't heard from Cheaney and Sons. Why was the quality of leather almost identical and really identical to this much cheaper shoe from Tebut, New York, when I'm paying a significant amount more for a brand like Joseph Cheaney and Sons? That's inexcusable. So we'll move on from that. We'll get into the other shoes, but I wanted to give you a tip, a heads up to watch the leather quality. Make sure you inspect these. Do not wear the shoes or walk in them for your first shine. You can see right away these don't mirror shine. There's a little rough feeling, almost a sandy feeling to the leather. It won't quite absorb the product, the polish, the shoe cream polish, because there is something coated over to address the quality issues of the leather to make it look better. Hence, it's called corrected grain. All right, let's put that one away. I don't want to talk about low quality shoes, even though that one's done me right. I can wear it anytime I can beat it up. I want to jump to something else. It's not in the front. We're going to hold off on that one. I'm going to talk to you about new old stock, a pretty cool concept and something I'm always looking for on eBay. We talked about eBay. In my last episode, I scored an awesome Peal Company shoe. This, for you connoisseurs, is an Allen Edmonds shoe, and it looks just like the modern day Strands. It's the black Strand, right? A nice, beautiful semi-brogue medallion cap toe. One of the more famous U.S. shoes is the Allen Edmonds Strand, and for good reason. It's a fantastic, versatile shoe. I've been wanting one in black, but I thought I could find a deal, and I did. This one was well under $300, but it was cool because it was brand new, and it looks just like, in the pictures, an Allen Edmonds Strand. But in doing the research using AI, I had the serial numbers. Don't buy from anyone on eBay unless they show you the stenciled in information on the inside of the shoe. And I found that this shoe was actually made in 2016, so about 9 years ago. And that was before one of the more recent acquisitions and maybe some of the quality issues that have popped up with Allen Edmonds. So I was really excited. This was brand new, came with the original box. I'll throw some photos up as we go through this up close, but you can see it here. And it does compare differently to the last. It's the 65 last, the same last that Allen Edmonds uses for the Strand, but it's changed a bit. And I feel like this last has more dimension. It's just a bit cooler, has a little more almond, true almond shape to it than the modern day last I have in the last 65 in my walnut Strands. And so new old stock is a way to get new but old stock, shoes that didn't sell, maybe that extra inventory, and people have a hold of these. I don't know how, but they're selling these on eBay from years and years ago, so you can get your hands on the same shoe. I got a day-night sole, which I was looking for. Again, looking for a little bit nicer shoe that I can wear in tougher weather. I think black is always the best color when rain is on the forecast. You get a good coat of polish, you get your Saphir spray on there, and you're not going to have spots that last in the black leather shoes. So I've got something that's not going to slip. Goodyear welted, right? Keep that water out. But again, I got a little history, right? Maybe at 10 years or so, but something that is made a little different, maybe a little better quality, old school from Allen Edmonds from a bit of a different era 10 years ago that I can have as a piece, a shoe that is a little different than the rest of my collection, which tends to be a little more modern than that. I've got a few that go older than that, but this is pretty cool. Right now, it's not my oldest pair of Allen Edmonds, but it is something that I have brand new, but from an older era. Again, new old stock, or NOS. Do some research, and you can find these on eBay. Be patient. They'll be in your size. They're out there. You're still going to pay a couple $100, maybe even $250. But again, it's a brand new Allen Edmonds shoe. Always go with people that will let you return, and you're going to be in great shape. Again, new old stock, Allen Edmonds Strands in black. Pretty excited about these. All right, let's put this one down. I got another eBay buy. This one's pretty cool. I think they're all cool. You might not. I get it. But this is actually, I actually have a Beckett Simon, and I didn't realize that shoe tree in here, but you got to have a shoe tree. Cedar shoe trees, they're not bad. This is a split toe. It's the Algonquin, again, from a whole different era. This is probably before 2010, Peal Company. So this is what I thought was a Crockett and Jones, but upon further investigation, this was probably made by Alfred Sargent. If you saw my episode last time, again, it was 2 weeks ago. I've been busy traveling, summer vacation and all. I try to keep these up every week. these were Peel & Company as well, like those chestnut cap toes I got. Peel & Company, the Brooks Brothers label they bought in the 60s when Peel & Company was no more. This was a company, Peel & Company goes back to the 18th century. They were originally a boot maker in England. Brooks Brothers in the 60s, when Peel & Company closed their doors, acquired the label and sold English-made shoes under the Peel & Company label in Brooks Brothers stores here in the United States, and did that up until the mid to after 2010. And I got a shoe here, brand new. Again, it's new old stock, really old. A Peel & Company shoe that's never been worn, right? For a great price. I got this for under $300. This is a style that's no longer made, the Algonquin, a split-toe derby, nice apron-stitched split-toe derby in a versatile black. And what's really cool, check that out. You got closed channel stitching. You don't see that with a lot of these English brands anymore. So this was a Peel & Company label shoe made by Alfred Sargent, right? Great old shoe company in England. And you can get a hold of these shoes sometimes, again, on eBay. Really cool find, brand new, a versatile black dress shoe, something I think you could wear with a suit, but I think this is my odd jacket shoe. This is going to be my favorite, easy to pair, navy blue, grays, just about any blue slacks, gray slacks with an odd jacket in the colder seasons, especially a real classy shoe with some history, new, again, new old stock, brand new for me. Who knows where these pairs come from? Someone has any idea how this happens to me? It seems like somebody out there, there's some Cheaney and Sons custard model shoes being sold brand new. I'm looking at, they're still a little pricey. They're brand new. They're selling them. And according to some of my research, they're not as good a resale potentially, but these are the great Peel & Company. I plan on wearing these the rest of my life. It's a Goodyear welted English made shoe. Really psyched to get a pair of these, a classic shoe that's not carried anymore. You can't go, anyway, Brooks Brothers is not selling English made shoes like this anymore, but you can't get this from any of the English shoemakers. This Algonquin split toe derby, pretty excited about it. So again, check it out. I mean, the seller from eBay is great. I'll put a link to his shop down there. They've got a fair amount of these Peel & Company shoes still available. And if you search Peel & Company on eBay, you might find some deals like this one as well. Okay, let's move on from our Algonquin split toe derby to now our kind of finalist of the show today, a shoe that's going to get its own separate show. This is the Enzo from the Contemporary Collection at our friends Blackbird Shoemakers, my third pair of shoes, which tells you how excited I am about this brand. This shoe cost me $240 US. Fiddleback waist, closed channel stitching, a fantastic suede upper I'll talk about in the full show on this shoe. This one moved to the top of the list, probably my next or second show I'm going to do of the exciting shoe reviews I do. Of course, I haven't had a chance to wear this. This was unboxed literally yesterday. Had a chance to shine it up. Amazing museum brown. Maybe the best museum burnish or museum patina that I have experienced. And I've experienced a lot. I love these museum calf leathers. I don't want them too aggressive. This is just perfect light play. Just look at that. I mean, many stacks, all leather heel. Just a ridiculous shoe and a fun, they call it the contemporary line for a reason, right? You've got this opposing suede leather upper in a hand welted shoe. I mean, goodness, what a cool look. I wouldn't call it a spectator, not quite, but it does have that look. It's what I was attracted to, but I think this shoe will dress up nicely. I think with my taupe suit, right? A nice brown suit. I think just about anything that a medium brown shoe goes with will look great. If you're adding a little statement punch to your shoe, because you can mix this with a medium brown belt. If you are wearing slacks with a belt, no problem. And again, it's not so much contrast suede that I would consider it a purely casual shoe. I don't see how you could call this anything less than business casual with a sole, fiddleback waist like that. Don't let anyone tell you this shoe cannot be dressed up with a suit. I think it can, and I'm really excited to wear it. I expect it wears well. This is the first contemporary line. This is the Pagani last, which I'd say compares well to the FF4 or the Bentley last. That's the one I know. I got this in a 44, and my derbies, the loop derbies, with a more generous, larger Holden last, right, a more casual last, I did those in a 43.5. So I've learned my lesson. I had to have my Bentley last boots remade because the 43.5 was a little bit small. But there is some good toe room here. It's intentional. This is a more elongated, elegant last. So there can be a half to up an inch, up to an inch in the shoe. A little sizing thing I did do is I did have one of my inserts. They're very thin from Beckett Simonon, and these fit. These weren't heel slipping, but I added those, and they're perfect. And they were pretty darn good before. So you might be between sizes, and it's weird. Blackbird makes every half increment except they jump from 43 to 44. You got to email them if you want a 43 and a half. I didn't with these shoes. I'm happy with the 44 like I am with my, what are those? Those are the Chukka boots that I have. They're beautiful. But again, the Pagani Last is true to size, but the 44 is always a 10 and a half, kind of an 11. A true 43 and a half is a US 10 and a half or a UK 9 and a half. So keep that in mind. If you're consistently ask them about the last, the Pagani Last, I think I recommend going to the 44. Even though I got a little bit narrow foot, I put that little insert in. I could go without. These are very comfortable. Just always want to give you the size recommendations. Message me below if you want more. You can always email me. I'll get you how to contact me, and I can help you through the process. You can always copy me, Rob at Prime Dude, on any of the interactions you have with these companies. I've got experience with them. I've had back and forth. I'd love to help you with your first Blackbird shoes order, or if you're ordering from a different last, it just would give me no less pleasure to help you. It's what I'm here for, guys. It's why I did this show. And believe me, it's not easy, but I do enjoy it. And so the kinds of recommendations I give you, wait till I wear these before you buy them. If you can, give me a couple weeks. But I'll have worn these a week from now. So if you're watching this show a week after posting, send me an email, drop me in the comments. I'll give you a preview and say, hey, thumbs up. So far, so good. No problem. I don't mind. I know you'll still watch the regular show anyway when I do it on the shoes. But speaking of that, the Urn Shoemaker review, the Mung Strap is out. I'll link that one below. I talked about it in the last show. And I've got some others that are taken off. I might link some other shoe shows down there. If you haven't seen my Allen Edmonds one, it's creating controversy because people don't understand the title. I mentioned that Allen Edmonds is still #1. Now, what do I mean? Well, watch the show and find out. And you'll see why I say Allen Edmonds is globally still the #1 shoemaker. And it cannot be argued once you see the show, once you understand what I'm talking about, whether it's new old stock like this or what they're selling. The brand has gotten a little different. They've modernized. They sell a lot more sneakers. The marketing is definitely to a younger audience. I get that. They've got to make sure that they are around forever. But they're a multi-$100 million company. So they're doing something right, even though they've gone through the venture capital acquisitions a few times. They've definitely streamlined some things, to save money. But I still love the brand. I'm an American. We're pretty loyal. So check out that show if you haven't seen it yet. I'll link it down below. As always, guys, I love this. I ran through 4 different pairs of shoes. Again, I don't want to say anything bad about any shoes, but my Cheaney and Sons show will be coming out. Cheaney and Sons did, though, use a different type of leather on the shoes I ordered. They're the cap toes. Well, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. They weren't the most expensive, so clearly maybe they're not their top. But I'm sorry, if they're charging me $500, you shouldn't have discovered what I did. And there's clues I'll take you through on the website that I didn't catch before that I could have by comparing some things, knowing that I was getting a lower quality leather, like this To Boot New York pair, which I knew I was getting when I bought these. So that's the difference. So I try to be positive. Hopefully Cheaney and Sons shares what kind of leather it is if it's not corrected grain, and we can find out, maybe get to a solution to understand better. Because even though they put these on sale for $325, they retail for $500. And that's what I'm buying. I'm buying a $500 shoe, even though I'm paying less in a sale. That's what I should get. You should not be paying $500 for something that is corrected grain. All right, that'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Again, like, subscribe, hit the alert button. Thanks for being a supporter of the show. And if it's your first time, ask any questions you like. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for being such a great listener and participant for those of you who comment. And as always, stay prime.